Okay, I do believe I am live here. I'm just going to get the video up on my phone so I can check comments. For anyone who may be here yet, as per usual, I am just tweeting out that we're live. Feels weird to be here all on my own. Twitter and Facebook. I'm doing this faster these days. Getting better. And Instagram. If you hear a cat voice in the background, by the way, we are looking after a cat. I mean, we usually are, but this is a very vocal little ginger kitty, and he's super cute. Okay, so I have shared that all over. Can't leave my comments. Oh, you're not. Dr. Mab. Hello. Thank you for joining, especially since you're ill. How are you feeling? You doing any better? I know the Rona's rough. Hello to Matthew. First NaNoWriMo event. Awesome. 1 week to prep. How intense are you going with it? Because I mean, the good thing about camp, which I'll go over, is that you can sort of choose your own adventure, which I think is great for your first one. Like I jumped right into it in November, like 2020. So I went all out in the first one, and I think camp has been around at that point, but it probably would have been a good idea for me to start with camp. Better, not out of the woods. Okay. Ugh, that sucks. I haven't had a like major illness for a while, or I hadn't rather, and then I had something. It was not the illness that shall not be named, luckily, but it was still something super weird that I had. I was like, why is this happening to me? It was one of those ones that just linger on and on and on. And you're like, I should be better, but I wasn't. 20,000 words. That is a really good way to start. For camp, what I usually do is I aim for 1,000 a day. So like 30,000. I did that last camp and I'm doing it this time. For this one, though, I'm doing it a little bit differently because last time I was using it to edit a draft, and this time I'm going to be doing a lot of research mainly. So I'm going to be doing study Wrimo. I'm looking forward to it, though. So as we get started, we're 5 minutes in. I'll just let you know how this is going to go. This is my welcome, hello, chatting, touching base. Then I wanted to just tell you about a restock and the Stygian store. And then I will do my little presentation about camp. We can do like some questions and back and forth. And then I just want to tell you guys about a couple Kickstarters and give a bit of an update on that, not just the Stygian collection, but another really cool Kickstarter that deserves support. Hello, Stephen. Never seen yours that change. Yeah, well, usually I have them set to one color, but the computer I'm using, I don't have the app on it that controls them. You can get like flames in them and stuff like that. So it's just on its default, which is changing color. And it changes on the side too. They're my favorite things. And I have a sneaking suspicion that they may have played a role in getting me my last job, because everyone I interviewed with was like, your headphones are amazing. Okay. So to tell you about this restock and the store. So I have a restock of my novel, A Time When Demons, and it is the second printing. And I got these yesterday, and it was the first time I was actually seeing the second printing. So that was exciting. I have an older copy here just to compare them. So the front cover is the same, but the spine is different. I actually designed this cover in full for the second printing, and we have Stygian Society there. So publishing actual, publisher listed. The old backdrop had an old photo, and it was back cover was pretty plain. So since I did a redesign on that, I redesigned the back as well, and I like it a lot better. There's also a slight little update in a segment that changed, what was it? changed voice a little bit. So this is, I guess I would say the final version. But if you got one of those first printings, if I'm ever like actually known in any way, you'll have the first printing and maybe it'll be worth something. So yeah, first printing has the black back cover, and the new one has this little sort of gradient and stuff. Anyhow, I'm very excited about it. These books are available on Amazon, Smashwords, but primarily I would prefer if you purchase through the Stygian website. So it's just stygiansociety.com, StygianSociety.com. And you can find my book there. I think it's listed on pre-order, but after this stream, I'm going to turn the pre-order button off. So that's exciting. Oh, hey, Sam. Oh, and thank you, Matthew. I'm glad you like the redesign. Seeing it in person was just like, yes, I love it. But yes, thank you for stopping by, Sam. It's nice to see you. So that's my little chat about the restock. You can also get Pay's books on the Stygian Society website. His latest one, we're waiting on a restock for those, but you can get his original collection, which is really, really awesome. So I highly recommend going on the site, checking out the books. I did a lot of updates on the site recently. If anyone had seen the old version, there's a new homepage. It just looks nicer, and I've added a point system and a book club, so you can get like rewards from buying books through there and stuff. And I'm really excited to see how it goes and how everyone likes it. So moving on from that, I know everyone wants to hear about camp because that is what you're here for. And so since I'm alone, I probably won't be having a very, very long live stream today. I just want to show you my little PowerPoint, which is on Keynote, which I've never used before. So that's going to be interesting. And it's not super long, but it'll give you the basics. And anyone who knows my channel knows a lot of my NaNoWriMo stuff already. Like you've been through it a lot, and I'm going to point you in the direction of some other videos that will help you after the PowerPoint. So I hope that this will give you some inspiration and like a good base to get going with camp. So I am going to share my screen if I can. Yes. Alrighty, so sharing screen. Please let me know if for any reason you can't see this. Hopefully you can. While I just get this actually set up to start playing. Okay, here we go. And hopefully it doesn't cycle through automatically or something. I've just been learning to present and use other apps in Zoom at my day job. So yeah, let me know if you see this, and then I'll get started. This is my little welcome screen. Also, I got a timer app on Zoom that I'm hoping to try out through Camp Wrimo when I do live streams, because I used to do sprints through what's it called? It was an OBS system where I could do a whole design thing, and I had a timer app and music. So I'm trying to translate that over to Zoom just because it's easier to have guests on Zoom. So just looking at comments here, if someone could just let me know if, okay, actually, let me just, I'm just going to update my own screen and make sure I can see it. Oh, yes, I am sharing. Sorry, a little bit of Luddite sometimes. Hello, Pay. Okay, so it's time to go to Camp Wrimo. This is our agenda. I'm going to tell you what camp is. Then I'm going to talk about using the NaNoWriMo website, which I think is very useful. Then we're going to talk a little bit about outlining and accountability, and then do questions, comments, if anyone has any. So what is camp? This I've taken from the NaNoWriMo website and just added a little bit. So Camp NaNoWriMo is a month-long writing challenge that takes place every April and July. So if you're watching this and you're not, oh, here we go, and you're not able to participate in April, there is July coming up. Last year, I just did July. So it offers you the flexibility to try something new with your writing. The key differences, though, between Camp NaNoWriMo and November, the writing challenge, are that during camp, you can set your own word count goal. So you're not locked into 50,000 words, and you can officially tackle any kind of writing project, novel or not. So it's very flexible, and it's really just to, you know, get you into writing every day, which I've always thought was one of the main points of NaNoWriMo, whether you win or not, because it's fun to win, but you don't have to. You don't have to. This is sashimi, by the way. So little notes that the community has added. If you're newer to the NaNoWriMo community, camp is a great place to get your feet wet and set a goal that feels good for you, but still participate in an official community writing challenge. You'll be writing alongside thousands of fellow writers who cheer each other on, host special events, and offer support, which is something that I do as an ML and just a fan of NaNoWriMo. And if you complete the official Camp NaNoWriMo challenge, you'll get exclusive digital badges, a printable certificate, discounts and goodies from Nano sponsors, and an extra leaf on your writing streak laurel, which I actually just learned what that was recently. If you're on the Nano site, there's a little purple thing that appears on your avatar as you complete years, and it's a laurel. So you get like little leaves on the laurel as you complete things, which I think is very nice. So that is what Camp Wrimo is. Last year, like I was saying, for anyone who wasn't here when I mentioned at the beginning, last year I picked a novel that I had been writing for years and years, and I finished the draft. So I set 1,000 words a day, and I finished that draft finally. That's what I did. This year, I am going to be doing a lot of research and studying for a dark academia that I'm writing. And for anyone on the channel who's been here for a while, yes, I wrote a dark academia for last November Wrimo, but I didn't like it. It wasn't inspired. It was practice. It was a practice draft. And now I have a really, really cool idea that I want to do a lot of research on. I'm excited. So using the website. So I know a lot of things like this, and maybe this is just my experience, these sort of organizations, challenges, they don't really have websites that support you in a huge way, but I stand by nanowrimo.org. It's an amazingly done website that is actually genuinely helpful in so many ways. Like the people who built this, the community, it's so good. It's so well done. So I have done a little video here, and hopefully it plays through all right, which is just how to get started. So how to list your project. This is assuming you already have an account, which that I hope I don't have to explain. It's just the usual, sign up, put your email in, accept in your email. So once you have your account, you can start your Camp Wrimo project. So actually just to go, no, no, we're skipping ahead. I haven't used videos in PowerPoint before. All right, so when you get started here, you're just going to join camp because they'll have a banner. You can fill in your project. Mine is untitled this time. Usually I have a title, but this is just super, super new. I just had this idea and I didn't think I was gonna have the time for it. But then I thought, well, why not make it a Camp Wrimo thing? Just pausing here. Hello, Emma, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, definitely. Please do use the like button, everyone. Thank you. So here they have your, what type of goal is this? Writing is what I'm doing. What's your word count? This is where you pick your word count. So you can do anything in camp. Normally it's locked into 50,000. So for me, I am doing 30,000 for the month of April. Then you get to pick your genre. So I've gone through and I've added a whole bunch of them, although I'm not completely certain with what I'm going to be doing yet. I know it's going to be mysterious. It's kind of a thing in dark academia generally. So I've got mystery, historical, because it is going to be set, I think, around 1863. Yeah. I have no project summary. So there I was sitting there, I'm like, what do? No summary. So you can fill all this in however you want. If you look at finished projects, like I'm gonna link a bunch of things once this stream is over. So if you want to check at the end, like if you have to leave, come back, or if you're, here till the end and you want to get the links, just wait a minute. I'm going to put a whole bunch of links up so you can see my NaNoWriMo profile and things like that. So once you've set it, that's going to be at the top of your Nano page. Then I have Untitled Dark Academia. There's just sort of an automatic cover put there. And so moving on from that, I just wanted to show a bit more about using the site. Yeah, that's what I did here. So you've got this My NaNoWriMo segment, which is where the screen is at right now. You have your profile, your statistics, projects, and your buddies. So let's just look at stats. This is the part, if you're a planner, if you're like me and you love being sort of obsessive about data and planning and progress, this is the best. It's so good. It helps keep you honest while you're writing. It's really useful because see that part with the total words and the words needed today? It's useful because the words needed today will update as you're going. So it'll change. It'll start out with like a perfect division of, 1,000 words that you need. But then if you go over one day, it's going to recalculate and everything like that, which seems like a really simple thing, but it's very helpful, especially to sort of plan your days and your writing. So if you do have a day where you can do more, then you sort of see that update of like, okay, you don't have to do as many the next day. You can calm down a little bit and you get your little progress bar and everything. I can't really show you how to update progress, but this is what it looks like a bit more on a complete project. So this was A Time When Demons. And you can see that I've updated the cover on this one. So you can add custom covers when you're done and you can make it look like a very polished final project, which I like a lot. You can see all my words there for every day and how it went. This was my first NaNoWriMo and I won, but like, look at that up and down there with the graph. You can see that there were days I didn't write, and I don't do that anymore. I write every day, even if it's a little something. Though this coming NaNoWriMo, my goal is to do a perfect Wrimo and hit par every day, which is 1,669. So I'm going to go over 50,000 because there's no way I'm going to exactly do that every day. So I do have a segment in this presentation where I talk about community and staying accountable and support and stuff like that. So I'm just skipping to writers' resources on this little mini website tour to show you how many resources they give you. You see there's offers, they give you discounts, there's pep talks, nano prep, Camp Nano segment, and there's a whole section for editing and publishing. That's the now what section of like, I'm finished, now what do I do? So I'm not really going to cover that since we're just starting here. But I highly recommend looking at that when you are finished your projects. So this is Nano Prep 101. I actually took a lot from this for my Preptober series last year because it was the first year I was an official ML and I really wanted to showcase their resources. So I combined my own knowledge with their sort of setup for that. And you've got calendar of events there, very useful. Here's pep talks. This is really cool because it's from authors that you probably know of, and you can click and just go through them and see what they have to say. Like Audrey Niffenegger caught my eye. I really love her. And I actually didn't know about this before. So this is something I'm going to go back into and just see what they're saying because I think it's kind of cool. It's always nice to have a pep talk when you need it. So moving on from the pep talks. Oh yeah, here's the resources. So discounts on novel pads, Scrivener, and you get more of these when you complete NaNoWriMo challenges. What did I do here? Oh yeah, I just wanted to show you what a profile looks like, I think. And these badges, I love these badges. I always try to get as many as possible. You have first day update, update more than once in a day, start a writing streak. And you can give yourself some of these. Most of them are triggered by things you do by adding your word count and stuff to the site. But this personal achievement one you give to yourself. So I just gave myself the Plantser badge because I am a Plantser. But you can choose, incognito, eureka moment, just to give them. There's just an extra fun little thing, and you can personalize your profile. Here's all my projects. So like I was saying about the custom covers, I have them for everything that I've done so far. And the little laurels I was talking about, that's these right here, the little purple with the gold thing by your avatar. And yeah, you can add friends and you can see your local groups. More on that in a bit. So that is my general overview of the NaNoWriMo website, which I think is amazing. Just to check in on the chat for a second here. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I never know if I'm talking too fast or too slow. And I also get very excited about NaNoWriMo, and I feel like I know it inside out by this point that I'm just like, blah, 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 Wrimo. So Emma, you were saying that it's your first camp. writing the first draft of a nonfiction book completely on your phone. Oh my God. You're total technophobe, so this should make some very entertaining vlogs. That's for sure. I definitely want to stay tuned and see what you're doing. I have a writer in my Discord, shout out to my Discord, and they write everything on their phone. So our word counts are always different during sprints. I just don't know how people do it, but it's pretty awesome, the amount of tools that you can use to get this stuff done. Oh yeah, this is cool. You can see how many words you've written over all of your projects. So since I started NaNoWriMo, I've written 181,454 recorded nano words. Now, so outlining, this is a whole thing, right? So I just want to touch base on one good technique to start you out. And again, like I said, I am going to put a bunch of links in the pinned comment and the description of this video after. So definitely wait a few minutes when the stream ends and, you know, refresh and just see those links, because I'm going to put resources and I'm going to link a bunch of my videos, and I might drop into them during this, but I don't think it's necessary. I'll just link them. And I might fail technologically if I try to do that anyway. So I just want to tell you about Save the Cat, because this is one that I learned about through NaNoWriMo. It's awesome. And if you're starting out and you want to get a full draft done, it's so good. My editor was, and full disclosure, she is also my mother, but she was speaking from an editor's standpoint, I hope. She said that A Time When Demons was a perfect book, not because it's, you know, amazing, because it's not, like, it's fun. It's basic, but the action, the plot was very methodical. And that's because I used Save the Cat for this. So if you just really want to learn how to get a draft done, this is it. This will bring math into it. And I'm going to go from the usual November Wrimo standpoint of 50,000 words, but obviously you can edit this. And if you're doing 30,000 or something like that during camp, obviously it's going to be a much shorter, tighter draft. Maybe you can draft a novella or a short story. But 50,000 words is great for Save the Cat, because that puts you at 100 pages on average, which makes dividing up percentages really easy if you have no brain for math like me. So in my draft for A Time When Demons, I knew that I had that, you know, 10% for the opening image, stating the theme and having a catalyst. And I knew, like, okay, 10 pages, that's it. And then I had another 10, and it's, you know, it's divided up, and you have a longer segment, but you really learn how to tighten those intro bits and the end to just make it sort of action-packed, get you into the story so that you have a strong opening and a strong conclusion. So I highly recommend Save the Cat. Again, I also have a whole series about getting ready for Wrimo projects. It's 5 parts, I believe, and outlining is one of them. I have a whole writing education playlist where you can get into that. So I do go into more depth with this, but Save the Cat is awesome. Look it up. There's a Save the Cat website, lots of free resources, and it'll be really, really helpful for you. Moving on to accountability. So nanowrimo.org and beyond. This is where I wanted to show you the community options on the NaNoWriMo website. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of them. There's forums, there's your home region, there's groups. You can find a region if you don't have one already. You can learn how to get involved, and there's a values section, which I'm not going to click, but you can look into that on your own if you like. That one's less about finding a community and more about the NaNoWriMo community itself, which is a very inclusive space. So here I am opening all of the tabs. All right. So these are the forums. I'm just going to do a little, you'll see me do a little scroll through here where you can see what some people are talking about, all different groups, you know, over 50s group, Scrivener, where to post about camp. This is the whole camp section. So there's just a forum dedicated to camp announcing your project. I clicked this one because I noticed it's Ivy James, who is a contributor to the Stygian collection. And I thought that was exciting. I'm like, oh, it's Ivy. So you can see Ivy's work coming up in the Stygian collection anthology in June. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about where we're at with that after my little presentation here. This is my home region group. It's Montreal. You can see me making announcements about this stream. You can see sort of MLs. There's the event. As an ML, I can add, I mean, anyone can add events, but MLs have to approve them. So I had the little stream. That was our first camp event that was put in here. And oh, I didn't go there. Okay. I thought I remembered when I was recording this that I just showed the links that we had. But, you know, we have links to Discord and YouTube and little resources on the side and stuff like that. I don't know what other people's home groups look like, but that is ours. And I think it's pretty good. And we also have a Facebook group and a unofficial Discord. So it's someone who's not an ML who runs the Discord. So we have a couple Discords that people in Montreal can use. So this is when you're finding your own community, like just look at how big NaNoWriMo is. It's wild. It's everywhere. So I'm just scanning through the map here a bit to show you, which is very cool. So when you're participating in this and we say there are lots of people there to support you, there's a lot of people there to support you, literally all over the world. And you just see me start scrolling and it's a lot. So you can join any of those that are your region. If you move between cities, you can pick a couple. And if you want to become a municipal liaison yourself, if your area doesn't have a group, sign up, be an ML. There's lots of resources and lots of people, again, to help you. And again, Facebook group, etc. Very supportive. Oh, Matthew, an ML is a municipal liaison. So we have 3 in our area. One who sort of, if I get the history right, one who kicked it off, and then he brought on a sort of co-ML and she wound up taking over most of the things, but they're both, he's retired and she's quite busy with teaching and stuff. So I came on as a third ML and we all sort of juggle the work together, but we are community managers basically. So we make sure that events are happening. We're sort of cheerleaders. We do things like I'm doing right now. It was sort of natural for me to go into that role locally because I was already doing this. So I do a lot of hosting of sprints, a lot of education and sharing those with our group to just get everyone writing. So moving on to our next page here. Oh, I have a little quote. There is no surer foundation for a beautiful friendship than a mutual taste in literature. Woodhouse. Here are other community options. So actually, I should just stay on that for a second because it's pretty. Oh yeah, you're welcome. There's lots of terminology in NaNoWriMo, like in the community, and as you get into it, you'll learn what people are referring to, like the whole planner, plantser, pantser thing. That's different ways to come at your novel. Like a planner plans a lot, stuff like that. I'm a plantser because I sort of fly by the seat of my pants, but I do a decent amount of outlining as well. So I just have some logos up here for other community options if you're not so inclined to use the NaNoWriMo website. God, I'm saying a lot here, sorry. I'm aware. Reddit is excellent because it has a whole lot of options. You can find very specific communities there. Discord is similar, but operates in more of a chat style. And, you know, with Reddit, you have one big forum. With Discord, you have one big chat space with lots of little rooms that you can access. And I have a Discord, which I will link if anyone wants to join. I'm going to be running sprints on there. Writing.com is one I don't have a lot of personal experience with, but I have seen it listed by a lot of people as a good community. I think it's also more forum based. Quora is a question and answer website, which I thought was mostly just that to begin with, but it actually has these little pages, little communities. So there are lots of writing communities in Quora, and authors post blogs and share videos and ask questions about camp. So that's a pretty good one. And Facebook, of course, a lot of local NaNoWriMo chapters have Facebook groups just because that is where a lot of people are. So those are all ones that you could look into if you're looking for other community options. So in summary, Camp Wrimo is a great way to dip your toe into the world of writing challenges. If you're not so new to challenges, it's a great way to get you back into a daily writing schedule. If you've lost some steam since November, that's definitely how I use it. With its flexible goals, its low stress option to be creative, you can find community and maintain productivity. And that is my little PowerPoint. I do have a couple things to show you to do with Kickstarter, but since this is a camp stream, I would like to just get off the screen sharing for a second and talk about camp for anyone who is interested and who has questions. So if anyone has questions, let me know now. If there's anything I didn't go into as much, like I said, I have a lot of educational things already on my channel that I can show you and link down below. Actually, maybe I will share my screen again and just show you the titles for some, because I did leave these open. Okay, so I'm getting used to how Mac likes to open windows. All right, so I would recommend, if you're looking for more resources, to go to my Preptober 2022 playlist. So I have developing your story idea, creating character concepts, plotting your NaNoWriMo project. So that's really helpful. World building during Preptober, time management and organization for writers, which I find a lot of people want and find to be useful. So that's a 5-part series, which each one, let's see, that's like 18 minutes, 17, like it's a longer series. It's probably about an hour. So if you watch that, that's going to be your crash course. Stop sharing for a second. Okay, check the comments here. What does Dark Night of the Soul mean in Save the Cat? Ah, excellent question. So Dark Night of the Soul, it's kind of funny. My parents always have just used this in everyday speech too. Mostly my mom, she'll be like, I had a dark night of the soul last night. It's basically that period where your character is delved into darkness. So if you, let me try to think of an example. Thinking like Lord of the Rings, it's not the all is lost period. It's a phase of sort of development. Never actually straight up defined this. Let me just, I'm going to look up an actual definition. A passive purification of the spirit and mystical development. Well, that is not specifically how we use it in writing. It's okay. It's the end of the second act of your novel if you're writing in the 3-act structure, and it gets into that all is lost. So it's dark. Your protagonist has to confront what is like a collapse of their meaning, a collapse of their drive, what they're out to do. So they're, they start out driven, right? They start out like, I'm the hero and I'm gonna adventure and all this stuff, and something happens to beat them down, and that is their dark night of the soul, which doesn't have to be a night. It's just a term for that. It's when, you think half of the adventurers have died or something, and then they all come back together to win the battle, that sort of thing. It's that moment before you get into your conclusion. I hope that makes sense. It doesn't apply to every genre, right? But if you write, it applies to a lot of my stuff. But because I do a lot of fantasy, horror sort of things, and you usually have, in a fantasy epic especially, most fantasy epics have a dark night of the soul. Like yeah, it is like a reckoning for sure. That would be a good way to look at it. And if you look it up, you can probably find good examples of what other authors have done in that area of their book. It's the sort of what's the quote from? I always go to Lord of the Rings. Oh, what is it? So it's said to Pippin in the book, I think, and Frodo in the movie, or the other way around. Oh, is it see such times? You know, where they're talking about the history of the ring and Frodo's, just all is lost, and you think that the bad guys are gonna win, and it takes your reader to that point of like, oh God, just desolate desperation, and then you bring it back and have the heroes win or not. I mean, you could ride the Dark Night of the Soul right into the end and destroy everything if you really want to. I think that's the only thing in Save the Cat that really has a specific terminology. Yeah, so your opening image is the all the the world as it is before going on an adventure. You state the theme, and then there's something that drives the adventure. Break into two goes into your second part. And that's when you can get into your B story, where there's, a little side thing with side characters that merges into the main story at some point. Then you have your All is Lost and Dark Night of the Soul, and you lead into your conclusion. It is a very you could say it's a very simplistic way because of writing, because obviously you can do so much more with writing, but it's kind of a foolproof way to outline, especially if you're new to outlining. So I would recommend it. Stephen, does the Dark Knight of, how do you like to keep track of things on the website when doing research or other writing tasks that don't translate well to word count? So I am old school. I know a lot of people use things like Scrivener because that provides a good resource that keeps everything in one place. I believe you can add images as well as character profiles and stuff like that. For me, I have a physical notebook, so I write everything in my notebook. That's where I do all of my brainstorming. I just have like notebook upon notebook. Like that's my dark academia concept right now. I haven't gotten into using any of the tools that are out there, but Scrivener is one that people use a lot and love. So if you want something that's a sort of all-in-one place to save a lot of information on your browser, I think that would be a good one. I think there's a desktop application as well. And there are different payment levels, I think. And again, nanowrimo.org, you can get a discount for that. And I think there might be some other organizational tools on there as well. But for me, notebook, then I do my basic outline in Word just so I can refer back to it easily. And I do character drawings. I also like to make characters and locations in The Sims and brainstorm while I'm playing The Sims and just watch the characters and get them to do things, which may seem a little weird, but it works. And I've done some videos on that too, if you want to look at them. Stephen, does the Dark Night of the Soul necessarily dictate the end? Would a shocking cliffhanger be better? I think that would be good. Like it depends what you're doing with your novel, right? So think of it as something that comes after the midpoint and leads into however you're going to end it. So that could be a cliffhanger. It could be total destruction, or it could be the hero coming back from their period of darkness and winning everything. But it's sort of like if you think of those rising action charts, if you've ever seen them, you have sort of rising to the midpoint, falling, and then a dip back up to excitement into the conclusion. Maybe I should do a whole in-depth outlining video because I've done little ones, but I've never gone like super, super, super in depth, I don't think. Because I try to make stuff sort of easily accessible just to give you some inspiration and then get you off the ground. So does anyone else have any questions about camp, getting started? Anything that I mentioned here? I know I just sort of bleh out a whole bunch of information, but this video will be up on my channel after. So if you want to go back and look at anything I said, and also if you want to leave a comment, I'll respond to comments and answer questions that way too. Like if anything comes up that you don't think of right now that you want to know. But also Discord would be a great spot to join in. I was going to talk about my writing schedule actually. And if you have other questions, feel free to ask, but I just don't want to leave us in any radio silence. So my writing schedule for camp on this channel, I'm going to stick to Saturday live streams. And I was thinking about doing one every day, but I knew that I would not be able to stick to it. And like with my day job and the stuff with Stygian Society, I would just wind up disappointing a lot of people. So I'm going to stick to Saturday live streams. There are 2 Saturdays out of the month where I have guests on my channel. So I'm going to ask them what they would like to do. So what we'll do on those days, either the guests will join us in sprinting after we have our conversation topic, or I'll do a creative conversation and then I will stick around after for maybe an hour and we'll do some sprints with a timer. So if you want to write with me on Saturdays, you will be able to through the month of April on YouTube. And also Discord. So Discord, I will be writing for sure Tuesdays and Thursdays. There are a couple weeks where I have some concerts. I have like 3 concerts I'm going to in April somehow. And so if those mess up the schedule, I won't be writing on Discord those nights. But the thing is, I'll be writing every day. So I will probably drop into Discord a lot randomly. So I'm locking in Tuesdays and Thursdays on Discord, Saturdays on YouTube. Join Discord for everyday potential random drop-ins and writing buddies. And there's like 85 people on the Discord now. So I'm not the only one there who's writing. It's a great community. You should definitely join if you're not there already. Everyone is very nice and very supportive. I'm very happy with how it's turned out. I'm not seeing any other questions here. So I would like to talk about Kickstarter a bit. And this isn't just going to be an ad. I want to show you some cool things. So please watch. So first, I want to share with you a friend's Kickstarter. And this is important for you to check out now because he actually only has a week left of funding. So this is Bound for the Sticks. It's a steampunk book and miniatures. And this project is created by Bonsart from Radio Retro Future. If you watched my very second creative conversation on my lives here, he was a guest and you could see his amazing steampunk setup. He, eats, sleeps, and breathes this stuff. So he's clearly created an amazing in-depth world here. There is a trailer. I don't know how well it would show up on this stream, so I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to be posting it on all of my social channels after this stream. So that's going to go out at 3 p.m. So if you want to watch the trailer and check out the link to the Kickstarter, then you can do that in 15 minutes. So as you'll see, he already has a lot of support. He's reached his goal, but the thing is, you are going to want to support this because there are some amazing rewards and it's such a cool project. I'll just read you a little bit. So Igraine has always felt like an unwanted burden, but in the city of Arcology, she finds belonging among the refugees of the multiverse. And you've got this amazing art and just this Kickstarter design is great. He's done so well. And here's a little blurb. Do you like exploring strange worlds filled with mysteries and forgotten civilizations waiting to be discovered? Do you love science fiction, steampunk, and fantasy tales inspired by works like Indiana Jones, the SCP Foundation, Metro 2033, The Roadside Picnic, Steamboy, and Treasure Planet? Authors like Lovecraft, Jules Verne, Robert E. Howard, or Miyazaki? So if you like any of those things, this is for you. And it's lovingly crafted. I've seen PDFs of the works he's put out before and they're next level. It's very worth supporting. And if you check out his Association of Ishtar site, there's so much more too. There's a whole wiki on all of this. And He has a story in the Stygian collection, so this is going to be a taste of what you see in the anthology from him. As I just scroll through this, you can see here's some of the rewards. Very cool. There's so many of them, and you can get them even just starting at $1, and you get add-ons and project updates. For $5, you get the digital companion. So even if you don't have a lot to contribute here, this is such a cool project. And if you like what he's doing, definitely get in on it. You can also get my novel as an add-on if you don't have it yet. It is in down here somewhere. Like, look at all this stuff. He's got miniatures, like bookends. It's just so cool. Next time I do a Kickstarter, I for sure want to set it up like this. And with all of the things that are going to grow with the Stygian Society, we are going to be doing things like this for sure. There's me. So you can, if you support, you can get my book as an add-on as well. So I just wanted to show you that because it's very cool and it's related to the anthology. And to wrap things up with this whole Kickstarter blurb, this is the Stygian Collection Kickstarter. If you have not yet supported it, I would really love it if you would. This is for my pet project with Payvio. This is our collection of dark tales written by the authors of YouTube. There are 24 creators, 26 works, and they all are sort of horror, dark, philosophical. They're very good. We've been gradually posting excerpts and author announcements on Instagram, so you can see all of that at Stygian Society. On Instagram, we're Stygian.society, but everywhere else it's just one word, Stygian Society. Now, this is a project where we're going to be doing this no matter what, right? But the crowdfunding is towards marketing and design. We want to make this very, very beautiful. And that's what we're looking for help doing from the community. So this goal, it's actually a $5,000 goal, but with Kickstarter fees, they suggest you add additional amounts. So that $1,600 is for Kickstarter fees. It's all or nothing. So we only get the funds if we reach the goal. I'm really hoping that we can do this. It's going to be an amazing way to support the project. We have such a cool illustrator on board for this. I haven't really done an official announcement for her yet, but I am just going to show you quickly our artist and our designer. So this, like, look at this. Look at this. When you think horror collection, it is just, it's perfect. I'm so happy. We're still working out some things with like how the illustrations are going to be done and the cover and stuff like that. So that's why I haven't done a full official announcement, but consider this your VIP sneak peek. Just the best. So this is the sort of design that we're going for with the book. And we just want to make it as impressive as possible and give these authors the spotlight that they deserve. And here's the page of our wonderful designer, which has a very different vibe. So their style will not be, you know, the book style, but they're doing our design. And as you can see, they have some amazing stuff. If you love feisty femme fashion, definitely check out Rough Stuff on Instagram. They take orders only through Instagram right now, but really quality, great art. There's one in, you've got Simpsons if you like Simpsons. You can tell they like Simpsons a lot. And I have one of their shirts that says, "Leave me alone." And it's one of my favorite shirts ever. Anyhow, yes, you love the art. Yay. I'm so glad. Like when we saw this and we reached out and started collaborating, we were like, it's even better than we could have imagined. So I'm so excited to see how this turns out. Stopping share. I know that was like a giant ad, but I hope that it was an enjoyable one because there are just a lot of cool projects we're working on right now. And I'm glad that I'm still going to be able to do camp within all of that. Morningstar, hey, yeah, we're doing well. We still have 52 days to go. I think I just So we're still promoting hard and trying to get it out there. And I look forward to getting it funded. We're going to do some more add-ons, more collaboration, more cool rewards for people. One of my favorites is that one of the top rewards, you get to have a pizza party with the artists, the authors and the artist, everyone. So we will, if you contribute $200, we will buy you a pizza wherever you are. And you can join us for the launch party on June 6th. And with that, I think that is everything I wanted to cover today. It was nice touching base with all of you, and a little weird doing this on my own because it's been a while, but this was just, I wasn't going to make Pay sit through me talk about Camp Wrimo. But I hope it was helpful for you. Again, just to wrap it up, if you have any other camp questions, please comment down below and I will come back and I will answer any questions. Join the Discord, stay for a minute after so I can get some links up and you can check them out, or, come back later if you have something you need to go do. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to be posting the Kickstarter and trailer for Bound for the Sticks, which is the steampunk project. So if you want to support that, which I think you should look on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's going to be on Stygian Society as well as my pages, so you can see it there. Okay. You're most welcome. It was nice to have you all stop by here. For anyone who missed the start of the stream and missed the camp segment, you can go back. This will be up on my channel. And I think that is that. I will be back next Saturday. Oh, and last but not least, I know I promised to relaunch my channel with proper video postings, but with everything that's going on, I just haven't been able to put the effort in that I wanted to. So we're going to do camp. And then I'm going to come out with a big fancy new video for my birthday at the end of May. And I look forward to doing that. I'm setting up something with an old speakeasy that's got some ties to Al Capone. So think about that. And I think it'll be worth the wait in May. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Have a wonderful weekend. And just in general, I hope that you are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.